Today we're taking notes on how to find the volume of a rectangular prism. So volume measures the amount of space occupied in the solid region. So how much can fit inside of something. The formula for volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. And you see that the L stands for length, W stands for width, H stands for height. When measuring volume, the units will be cubed. So after you get your answer, it's going to be inches cubed, centimeters cubed, because you're multiplying three different measurements. You know, length, width, and height. A cubic centimeter is a cube whose edges are all 1 centimeter. Find the volume of each rectangular prism. So here's my length, here's my width, and here's my height. And I'm going to multiply those. 7.5 times 2 times 4. You can multiply this out on the side, but I know 7.5 plus 7.5 is 15. To verify that, I can do a little math over here, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. I have 1 decimal place, so 1 decimal place. I can put 15.0 or just 15, because it's the same thing. And then 15 times 4. 15 times 2 is 30, so 15 times 4 is 60. 60 inches cubed. And that's my final answer. Second example, 4 times 5.1 times 9. This is my length, this is my width, this is my height. So I'm going to multiply these three numbers. 4 times 5.1, I could do a little math over here in my notebook, 5.1, not 51. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20. I have 1 decimal place, so 1 decimal place. 20.4 times 9. I'll do that over here. 36, carry the 3. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 9 times 2 is 18. And I have 1 decimal place, so 1 decimal place. 183.6, and I have to look at my units, centimeters cubed. Sometimes they're not going to give you a picture, sometimes it's a word problem. So find the volume of a fish tank that is 8 feet long, 5 feet wide, if the height is 5.5. So I have 8 feet long, that's my length, 5 feet wide is my width, and the height is 5.5. I'm going to multiply these three numbers. 8 times 5 times 5.5. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 times 5.5. I can do that over here. You should pause the video, multiply this out, and then compare your answer with mine. So you can pause it now, and then unpause it when you have your answer. So now, 5 times 0, 5 times 4. Add a 0, because I'm moving on to this number. 5 times 0, 5 times 4. 0, 0, 2, 2. I have 1 decimal place, so 1 decimal place. So my answer should be 220. I can put 220.0, but it's the same thing. So 220 feet cubed. I always look for my units, and it's cubic because I'm multiplying three different lengths. So now on the back, you're going to work out these problems and have Miss Gardner or the teacher check your answers when you're done. They give you a whole bunch of numbers, but you only need three things. You know, length, width, and height. So it's going to be 2 times 2 times 2. There are a whole bunch of numbers here, but a lot of them repeat. All they're telling you is that it's 17 on this side and it's 17 on this side. It's 4 here and it's 4 here. But we only need, you know, the length, 17, the width, 10, and the height, 4. Same thing here. Just find your length, width, and height. Your length, 19, your width, 11, height 4. This is a square, so oh, sorry, it's not a square. It has right angles, but it's a rectangle because it's a 6 by 5. But I need my 6 for my length, my 5 for my width, and my 7 for my height. They give you all the measurements here that you need for this word problem. They give you 2 measurements. So it's a square prism that's 6 kilometers along each side of the base and 5 kilometers tall. So if you would imagine it, you have a square, and imagine that all those sides are perfectly even. That's 6 by 6 on each side, and then you have a height of 5. And I'm trying to imagine how I'm going to draw height. So we can make this part the base, 6 by 6, and then your height is 5. So length, width, and height. And then this says it's a cube that measures 9 inches along each side. So a cube is made up of all squares. So imagine that's your cube, and it's 9 inches along all the edges because all of these are squares, so they're all going to be the same. Okay? Work out all of these, have your answers checked, and then you will get the practice sheet.